very pleased to be joined in the booth by Mets General Manager Sandy Alderson, who's on the trip here to St. Louis, last road trip of the year, and a time to kind of look at things as they have gone on this year and as they move forward. Sandy, thanks so much for joining us.
Sure, my pleasure.
What do you see right now from this team as we head through the final 9 games of the season that you like, and what do you see right now that you don't like?
Well, I think that there are a number of areas where we need to improve going into 2012, and most of those have been well documented. I'm very happy that we had that excellent series in Atlanta after a very disappointing homestand, but we have to figure out a way to start winning at home. It's important not only to take advantage of that home field, but also that's where most of our fans see us play, and so we need to figure that out. But the team has played hard all year, almost every game, and I think Terry's to be commended for that, and we need to carry on that hard work ethic at the same time improving a number of areas of our club.
Now, obviously the first thing that you're going to have to do when bidding begins is figure out whether you can re-sign Jose Reyes. How deeply into the process of figuring out your strategy have you gotten at this point?
Well, we talk about it quite often. I certainly think about it most of the time. Somebody asked me today, what are you going to do in October when the season's over? I said, that's Jose month. Nice at bat there. Yeah, October for me is going to be addressing that situation, which of course is paramount, and then spending a little time in instructional league, so, and maybe Arizona, but that's what we look forward to. The first month of the season, we have to take advantage of that first month before free agency is actually established, and see where we are.
With the trade this summer of Beltran for Zach Wheeler, you're starting to really get a good number of young arms down in single A ball. In your experience, what's the most important thing in developing young pitchers in your own organization?
Well, I think one of the most important things is having a lot of candidates.
Yeah.
Given the fact that injuries can be so prevalent among.
Jackson throws it away. It goes into the crowd, and the Mets will have runners at second and third.
I think you just try to start from a large base of candidates and work your way through. But in terms of number of innings they work, number of pitches they throw, the types of pitches, I mean, obviously you want to establish fastball command and changing speeds, and then work on pitches that are going to complement that if they're starters, and focus perhaps on 2 best pitches, maybe 3 if the guy's going to be a reliever. But it is nice that we have several big time prospects coming through the system, and should be available to us in the next year or 2.
There was a time when organizations would probably take more time than less time with their pitchers. Do you think you'll do more of that? In today's game, they seem to not rush the pitchers, but there's immediacy for what you pay them and what you want from them as early as you can get it.
Well, we're going to try not to rush anybody. One of the things that we faced this year was a real roster issue, and that comes from not moving the pitchers or anybody else along quickly enough. For example, we've got some players going into the offseason who need to be put on the major league roster, or at least are to be considered for the major league roster, who are playing in Port St. Lucie this year, may not even be able to play at Double-A next year, but are strong candidates for the roster because of their talent level.
That'll get a run in. And the Mets lead at 2-0 on Wright's ground ball out, scoring Reyes.
So that can be a dilemma too, but certainly we don't want to rush anybody, and there are a lot of reasons for not doing it. We want pitchers to, and really any player, to be as game ready as possible when they get here. try to overlook short-term needs and keep in mind the long-term. You don't want to burn Major League service. There's just so many reasons for not rushing someone, but at the same time, you've got to move along on a pace that provides value and you know, is timely when it's time to be put on the Major League roster. You know, I actually think if you go back to our season and where things started to deteriorate, to me it really wasn't about the Beltran trade as much as it was the day we lost both Jose and Daniel, because I think Daniel was a force in the clubhouse too. Not to say that, you know, he's outspoken, articulate, what have you, but just his tenacity, his intensity in the clubhouse and on the field, I think transmitted to everyone else. So we've got to find a spot for him, and as we all know,
Tolley finds a hole, and that'll bring home Harris with the third run of the inning, and it's 4-0 New York. I don't recall you having this much success the last couple of times you were here.
This is nice to see. Maybe this has been the problem the last 6 weeks. I haven't been in your booth often enough. Well, you look at, we were talking about this the other day, you take Reyes off the ball club and look at our team speed, and it almost doesn't exist. We've got a lot of, you know, station to station types. You see it in a number of different situations, obviously, trying to get a guy in from second base on a base hit, first to third. I mean, Jose in the first inning, I wasn't sure he was going to go to third, and he just kicked in an extra gear as he got to second base. And I think part of it was his speed and part of it was the deking the right fielder, but makes a big difference.
Well, let's parlay that question about team speed into the next question about the configuration of the ballpark. Do you see it changing appreciably next year?
How do those relate, Gary? I'm not. Well, we're certainly talking about it, and I think it's conceivable that, yes, we will see some changes in Citi Field, but no final decisions have been made. We're still looking at different possibilities. I think if we do something, it's not likely to be subtle. So you know, we'll see, and I think that it's probably a decision that we will make sometime in October as well. There's no reason not to, but we have looked at a lot of different possibilities. We've done a lot of analysis, none of which is all that precise. I mean, doing stuff, we haven't done wind analyses, but those are a complete crapshoot. So we've tried to do as much analysis as we possibly can, and I think we'll have some recommendation in October.
Well, Sandy, thanks so much for joining us, and thanks for your candor, and really throughout the year for being able to be up front with us about what's going on with the ball club. It's really been refreshing.
Well, I tell you, it's been a great year for me personally. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the fans. I've enjoyed my interaction with you guys as well as you know, the coaching staff. It's just been great opportunity for me. I'm really pleased that I've been here over the last year. So thanks a lot.